They rented a warehouse and built their own studio in Playa del Rey, the one that we were all
You
at.
remember, it was Marina. It's Marina, right? It was on Beethoven.
But that's Playa.
It is Playa. You're right.
It's Playa. It's now Playa Vista. But at the time, there was nothing. None of that development was there.
It was legitimately like what I heard, Baywatch's
old studio. I remember that.
And they cut Hasselhoff's dressing room in half. And one side was, I guess, like maybe
interesting.
I wonder if that whole cluster of dressing rooms that we all had was his entire dressing room. Maybe he had like a whole suite because it was like all cut up and partitioned.
Wasn't his? Because I happily remember this. I think it was Nick's and also the studio room, because our studio schoolroom was like right behind Nick's, wasn't it?
God, I can't remember that.
I don't know, man. I just know that I was across from Shia, and so I had to hear a lot of things. I think I heard him hooking up with Margot Arshman at one point. I don't even know. I don't know. Poor kid.
My God.
I know. I heard him talk to his dad a lot, and that was disturbing. But honestly, I feel like I missed out on relationships with everybody. Like I do. I feel like I missed out. I don't know if hindsight's 20/20 and there's nothing that I can do. I can just be grateful that we're here now. But who I am now is very much, I'm very present in that I'd like to have relationships with folks from that time and sort of almost reintroduce myself.
Yeah.
Well, but why do you feel like there's so much for you to like repair or make amends for? I mean,
okay. That's a good question.
No, listen, I mean, childhood is childhood. We're all going to go through our journey and our struggles, and we're going to make a hell of a lot of mistakes. But I mean, and I know that stuff sticks with us for a long time into adulthood, but why do you feel like there's a need to go back and kind of rehash or repair all of that? You were a 14-year-old girl going through all the things a young girl goes through in a very kind of like high pressure, microscopic life.
Yeah.
And you were a bit of a bitch.
Yeah, I was.
You were
think about it. I
bitch,
had to be, because it was a coping mechanism. It was a self-defense mechanism when I look back on it. So I think that's just kind of, I guess that, yes, that is the truth. And as long as that can be sort of, I guess, forgiven or understood that was what it had to be for me to survive, then I guess I don't know if it has to be. Right? Like we all get to choose how we're going to respond to those moments in life, right? That was how, whatever the tools you were given through your family and everything else, that was the way you chose to deal with that I guess
shit.
You're right.
And as a matter of fact, let's be honest, you were on a show that gave you a lot of attention, and that we all process that attention in a different way. That's how you process it. And no one's right or wrong. It was what you went through. When I say you were a bitch, I mean that with love, because
I think
you and I had to butt heads a few times.
Yeah,
and I had.
No, I didn't butt heads with you as much as Shia.
Yeah,
well, no.
I remember you two butting heads. I remember you and Shia butting heads.
Well, of course, because they were the same. They were peers. They were the same age. Well, but that's what you would expect with two people who are the stars of the show. And
I hated feeling like a cliche. I think by the end of the show, I was like,
welcome to the world. I mean, that's what it is. But no, we didn't butt heads as much, only because one, I couldn't butt heads with you. You were a 14-year-old girl. I couldn't be
16. I was 16.
Whatever you were. I couldn't be a 23, 24-year-old guy getting into fights with a 16-year-old girl. I had to create distance between you and your mom. Like,
oh my God. Oh God.
Like, God love your mom, but I had to like create distance because it was like I can't deal with some of the drama that's happening in this space.
Sure, fair enough.
And but I will say though, you and I came together years after that.
That is true.
And
how did we rediscover each other? Through one of your reunions, I think.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, whatever. It wasn't like
through
we ever were
a friend, and then it was us. I was looking for work in my 20s, and then we started chatting about your acting school.
Yeah, that's
acting
right.
classes.
That's right. Well,
dude,
we started doing that together.
We literally created a business together.
I wish we never sold that.
I didn't hear about
that domain.
Website. Yeah.
You guys have to tell me.
Actors Live.
You got to tell me about
Actors
this.
Live.
I never heard about this.
Yeah, we taught classes for like. It was because I
would say like 6 months. Actually.
Yeah, I was teaching in Vancouver for like 2 years.
That's right.
And it was doing
but
really
you
well.
were really good for that. Like you were really good. I since
was-
worked
it was
for
fun.
other versions of that company, and some of them were not
yeah.
so.
No. Well,
not so
that
good.
that was the only reason why I worked for them.
The one
and-
with the 3 initials?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's not. Yeah, I don't want. It's sad that it's like people still, if anyone writes about me or my career, that still comes up as one of the
Really?
highlights, and it
Aw.
drives me crazy because I don't like to be associated with that. It wasn't like. I think what people don't understand is I've done a lot of things.
Mhm.
There's been a lot of things in my life that I've tried, and that's the one title that has stuck with me for some reason, and I don't
Aw.
love that. The only reason why I worked with that school is one, I got to bring all my actor friends into it and
Get a paycheck.
introduce them, well, and get a paycheck, but also introduce young aspiring actors to people working in the business, which was huge. And the other thing is I made a deal that if I'm doing this, I'm not teaching the program you're teaching. We have to have a writing program for these kids that
You did?
write their own material
was
and
so
learn
cool.
what it's like. So at least they're getting a well-rounded experience. And we did for 2 years, we did that. And so kids got a lot out of that program, even if the school itself was kind of a little shady and shoddy. But
I felt like when I went to Canada to visit it, I was like, oh, this is Nick's program. Like the kids literally wrote their own monologues, and you could tell how much they loved Nick and how inspirational he had been. So yeah, no, I get it.
It was a cool experience. But you and I reconnected, and you had matured so much, at that time. And
Mhm.
I remember specifically a couple conversations we had, and one.
But I was struggling, Nick. I was definitely struggling even when I was.
I'm sure.
working
I'm
with
sure.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Go
get
ahead.
that.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We can talk about that too. But I just remember you saying, "Hey, there was one thing you said to me once." And I'm not going to go too deep into this stuff, but it was like you said, I basically made a comment to you like, look, when you get to this point in your life and you realize that this shit don't fly, talk to me then. And then
Yeah?
I said
don't
to
remember
you,
any of that. That's great.
That was
Okay.
like, you were probably like 16 years old. And I'm like, I'm not going to play these games with you.
You definitely didn't play games.
Yeah. And then like, here you are.
Was that you talking to her? Or her
Yeah.
talking to you?
I'm
I
looking
talked
back
to
now. I'm
her.
remembering things.
I talked
This
to
is
her,
good.
and then
Yeah.
like she was going to school at Columbia.
I was like so offended.
Weren't you
right?
going to school at Columbia?
I ended up going to Columbia.
Yeah, this was during your time in Columbia, and we had reached out and
Oh,
or we
yeah.
had
You
connected and
visited
you
me,
talked.
yeah.
And then you said, "Hey, I want you to know that like you were right," and I'm not trying to be right. That's not my goal here.
Okay.
But my point is to show you that like you've done a lot of self-reflection, and I mean I'm freaking 46. I'm 46, and
Jesus,
and,
you look so fucking
thanks,
good.
babe. And
Both of you guys look so
I'm
good.
self-reflecting every day still, every day. So like you've put the time and you've put the work into it, and there's definitely a lot of growth. And you even said something to me that I won't remember exactly what you said.
I'm sorry, I just can't get over that you just said you're 46 years old.
Yeah,
you
I know,
look
it's crazy.
The same as you do.
No, not at all.
You
Not at all.
show,
But
dude.
you do.
I mean,
you do.
I mean,
yeah,
there's ways,
crazy,
right?
crazy.
There's ways.
But you said something that I can't recall exactly what it was, but
Okay.
it is one of those things that I'm like, she's right. It was something about the choices we make, how those become habit forming. And I can't recall exactly what it was, but it was clearly something that you had thought about, maybe something you heard and became a mantra for you. Like there's certain things you just don't do because once you start doing them, they become habits.
Oh.
And it was like, yeah, I stay away from that. And I'm like, good for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Child
Well-
acting, not even once.
child acting, not wait, don't do it.
Yeah, no. Just
Yeah.
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 I
see
mean,
that.
I definitely don't feel that way about, but it all depends on the tools you have and the family
Yeah.
that's there to guide you.
1,000%.
Yeah.
But look, I think that overall, I think coming to the show, we all came with a beautiful sense of wonderment and wanting to be a part of something. And I think that won out in the end every day and every time the cameras were rolling. And I think we all kind of still connect on that magic. Like, it's like people assume I hate Disney. I don't at all. Like, I just went to Disneyland with my kids and cried when they were getting their princess makeover. It's like, I'm into it. I believe in it. I believe in that wonderment. And I believe that like even Steven still holds up for a generation. We were talking about how people come up to us all the time and they're like, you were my childhood. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
They all use the same phrase to all of us and a couple
Yeah.
other people I know from the golden era of Disney that we spoke about this episode, which we will have to wrap up now. But
It's over?
I'm getting, yeah, I know. Well, it's
Are
going
we
to keep
get- are we-
going,
are we
guys.
getting
This is
signs?
pretty deep, but like literally we have someone to tell us to wrap it up.
We can talk about all of that on our next episode. And I think that we also have to talk about an episode that we didn't quite get to.
Swap.com was great. Go ahead and watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.